Somebody shoot me now.
Well,
Hello again. I forgot to unmute.
Groundhog Day.
Yes. Lord help us all. Hey, welcome to Talking Weather Take Two. I am Mark Sudduth, and that's CJ Morgan. And man, Murphy, from Murphy's Law, working overtime already today. The moment I start bragging that we're going to be using a new system and I fired Zoom, I mean, literally, the moment I said that, I get kicked off the stream. Like, Zoom, what are you doing? They're messing with my computer. I'm just kidding. But dang, that was terrible. But
that was something.
I don't know what happened. Maybe I had a temporary internet outage. And who knows? So anyway, we're back for part 2, take 2, talking weather. It is Monday, the 9th of February. Good to see everybody. Hopefully I don't get booted off this time. That was really weird. So hopefully, Karen, at least that time around, you got to see the intro. Yeah, thank you. I like that. Appreciate that. That intro. We tried that intro over Zoom back in December because this used to be all done through Zoom, but we've upgraded, hopefully. We'll see about that. Carolina Weather Group didn't crash when I was on with them, so just saying, we got to have this live up here. But yeah, I'm glad you like the intro. So we do see the YouTube chat. I no longer have to look down at the phone for it, so that's awesome. Yeah, hopefully we get through the whole thing this time. Maybe it was literally some kind of a weird internet outage. Hey,
I don't know.
So, all right, well, let's get back to where we were, and we'll jump to the regular banter where CJ and I are side by side.
Exactly.
And then, trying to remember all the steps here, I share my screen. That's where everything went to the toilet, by the way. So maybe that was the problem. So share my entire screen and allow, and then bam, national high and low temperatures. That's where we were going to go. But of course, to remind you, in case you're brand new, you just tuned in to Take Two, we do have a new look for talking weather, and it's not supposed to be, you're going for the Titanic look. Record cold, we're going to talk about that. Big pattern change is coming, and we're going to talk about our friend ENSO. All right.
Right. Mark, you might want to go down to just the screen share only since we're not on screen.
Oh, screen share only. What do you mean?
The special one on the left.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
All good.
CJ set up these nice doodads for me to take advantage of, and I have to remember them. And eventually it'll be all muscle memory.
Exactly.
And we will be good to go. So is that better?
Now we're down at the bottom.
All right. So 90 degrees yesterday down in Yorba Linda and Glamis in California. Minus 35 in Watertown, New York. Told you this a little earlier. And then we crashed. So maybe it's the Google. So here's Glamis. And I went away, and this stopped working right when I was asking CJ, haven't we done this before? I feel like we have, because I remember this trailer RV park place. Just something looks familiar about it. Definitely a Breaking Bad look to it, even though that was in New Mexico. But 90 degrees for the national high temperature there on the 8th of February, Super Bowl Sunday. Glamis Beach Storage. Excuse me? Wait, what?
Okay.
All right. So apparently there's a beach somewhere nearby. We'll look back out on the Google Earth perspective in a minute. I know it's got to be close to, maybe they're talking about the Gulf of California, because they are pretty close to it as I pull the map out here. But there's the Salton Sea. But beach storage just sounds kind of a little too enthusiastic. Anyway, 90 degrees there for the national high. What about the national low? That was Watertown, New York. And I have been there many times, most recently a few weeks ago when it was not minus 35. It was about 12 degrees, something like that. And I was up there with Greg Nordstrom, and we were checking out the lake effect snow. And so I know what it looks like there, but I'll show you fine folks. We'll just drop the Google Street View person right on the Black River Bridge area. Actually, it's under it, so that's funny. But this is Watertown. Let me go back and get a different view for you. I should have had some Watertown pictures from my experiences up there. But anyway, negative 35, not the day they took this. This is clearly springtime, June of last year, no doubt. But yeah, minus 35 was the low because of that really sharp Arctic air mass that came in. And I wonder if
inhumane.
One of the churches, Marcel went up there and redid one of these churches up there. They're stained glass.
Yeah.
That's what his company does. I should have asked him which one that was. Interesting. But yeah, Watertown, New York. I've been there a few times. First time ever was in 2020 when I went up for my first Lake Effect snow event. And I had a 7-passenger minivan because Enterprise did not have, or Thrifty, it was Thrifty at the time.
Wow.
It's the old, and I've said this joke before, I even did it on Fox Weather, stealing it from Jerry Seinfeld. You know how to take the reservation, you just don't know how to keep the reservation. They didn't have my truck, and something's beeping in windows that always scares me.
Just ignore it for now.
Right. No! So minus 35 in Watertown, New York, and I want to show you guys this. A post here from Shane R. Mucky. I started following Shane last week because it just showed up in my algorithm. The Black River Valley, New York, just north of me. He's in Alkmaar, one of the coldest places in the lower United States. And there it is. That was the negative 35 at Watertown International Airport. CART, K-A-R-T. So what y'all think about that? We'll stop the screen share for a second.
Inhumane.
Jump on the chat. Oh, I like that. We can just pull it right back up.
Yeah.
Anybody ever been to Watertown besides me? You never been there, right, CJ?
No, but I've done a lot of work up through those parts remotely. So I've talked to a lot of people up there.
Stop it, Howard. Talking about got Linux? No,
yeah.
Linux on this. Sorry.
There's Howard. There's always one. There's always one.
Right. Yeah, Howard's laughing it up from the peanut gallery located in Bermuda today.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, negative 35 up there. Some of these posts that I'll show you. Let me get back to the screen share. Go to that, and we go to this, and we go to that. There we are. So here is, and we're good, CJ, right? I got to learn this.
I got you.
Memory.
You're good.
So yeah, minus 35 up there. And then look at this. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Literally just a little while ago. What a picture from Shane. That is the Salmon River with the sun coming up. Absolutely a stunning photograph.
Coming off the water.
Yep. And somebody's out there fishing for some steelhead.
Yep.
Or the like. Minus 23. This morning, Alkmaar, New York, a beautiful area of the country.
Yes.
Wow, just incredible. I retweeted this one because it was amazing.
It's gorgeous.
All right, so we had the old big game, the Super Bowl, and of course, leave it up to smart aleck of the universe sometimes, and I mean that in a good way. Neil deGrasse Tyson, a Super Sunday fact. That's my best Neil deGrasse that I can do. There's a small but real chance that a flipped coin will land on its edge. But 60 Super Bowls is not enough to reveal it. That's pretty good Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? Come on.
Yeah.
So there's a small but real chance that flipped coin will land on its edge. But 60 Super Bowls is not enough to reveal that chance. I like that. Not enough ensemble members.
Yeah. Not enough ensemble members is right.
Could say this literally about anything. There's a real chance there's an earthquake during the coin toss. Right.
Literally.
Yeah, especially where they held the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
probably
no kidding.
more of a chance of that earthquake than the coin landing on its edge, especially
that
on
would
that
be my guess.
So, yeah, that was an interesting post there from Mr.
I'll check in after Super Bowl MMM.
Right. One side of the coin is fractions heavier than the other side. Yeah, it could be.
Interesting.
But you never know. On that AstroTurf, the coin could get stuck in the felt just enough or whatever it is. Anyway.
Hey, I'm just glad the Patriots lost. Sorry for my Pats fans out there. Don't care.
I'm glad that quarterback who had such a storied passed to get to the Super Bowl
Right.
for Seattle, won it. You know, he played for the Carolina Panthers for a bit. He was in
Right.
trying to remember his history. San Francisco, maybe? I can't remember. But anyway, he won, and that's great for him. This was interesting. The Olympics, the Winter Olympics happening. So I saw this. And yeah, we were talking about that. What the hell was that idea I had for the tweets? I've already forgotten that. Neat tweets.
Neat
That's
tweets.
right. I like this. This is funny. From Gene's glucose monitor, whoever that is.
Oof.
Summer Olympics. Look at this teenager run really fast. Winter Olympics. Look at this 41-year-old mother of three do a backflip off the side of a mountain.
That's just the state of Utah.
Fantastic. And that's exactly right.
It's true. I've always found, so hot take, I've always found the Winter Olympics more fun to watch. And maybe it's because I'm a hockey fan, but the Winter Olympics are usually more entertaining.
You got gerbils or something? What is that noise?
That is my dog viciously tearing up a toy.
Man, oh man, we should just invite all the chaos, all the wildlife. You know, I should let my geckos out.
Call him up.
In here. Call him. Exactly. You know what? That's the one thing this has never rung with any kind of an emergency or whatever. During
you knock on wood right now.
Right. There's no wood in here. It's all silicon and plastic. And a big NVIDIA chip in the old machine there that Cornelius.
But it wouldn't be hurricane track without some sort of chaos going on.
Right.
It just wouldn't.
Yeah, I hear alarms going off down the hallway from somebody supposed to be awake. No, it's like somebody's Alexa or something.
That's
got
funny.
the door open. But yeah, I heard some kind of what sounded like chipmunks or something in your
that'd be him
house there. All right, well, let's get back to the screen. Yeah, bring the cats and dogs. We might as well, Javier. Screen share. Yes, please. Let's go back and show you guys what we got here. And this will give me some good practice to get through all this stuff. All right, went through that. So here's curling.
I enjoy that.
Neat tweets.
Oh, it's funny. People make so much fun of curlers, but the weather conditions have to be just right for that all to. It is insane how much science goes into that game.
Right. And I love the fact, again, this is the good side of the internet, of social media. Something like that can really crack you up, and it cracked me up when I saw it. Perfect.
That's great.
Very good. What's next? All right. My favorite part of the Olympics is the commentators. There is always one expert invited on TV once every 4 years and one normie, regular normal person. The expert, her left foot was about a half a degree wide there. Not sure she can make up the 0.3 seconds. The normal person, her parents live in Wisconsin with 5 dogs.
Literally. Literally.
Oh, man. Curling commentary. Oh, the line is good. Half off the button in the top fourth, but behind the guard, I don't think they'll be able to salvage the double, though. But they do have the hammer coming up. Me, I just like the way they glide.
Me.
Oh, man.
That is great.
So we got the Winter Olympics, and then coming up in a few years, the Summer Olympics here in the U.S. of A.
Yes, for the first time in many years, it'll coming back to the City of Angels. So
there you have it. This is funny, good stuff. Oh, by the way, CJ, so we'll get back over here to this. So we didn't watch much of the Super Bowl. We were working on show stuff.
Yeah.
But I stuck through the first half, and I wanted to see some of the commercials.
Yeah.
This year, none of them really wowed me. You know, a lot of the years you get the ones that are so anticipatory,
right,
a lot of hype about them. But I figured that by the time the Super Bowl was over, Big Pharma would cure everything we've got with all the ads we were seeing just in the first part. I did see a good one from Dunkin' Donuts again that was a real absolute banger, and you got to look that one up. I can't show it, probably get YouTube and Ben Affleck come to my house and shut me down personally. Just kidding. That'd be pretty cool, though. But they use like some reverse aging computer stuff to make
Oh,
him
interesting.
look younger. And they had Jason Alexander was sort of a mashup of Cheers and Friends and a Dunkin'
Very
Donut,
interesting.
and really, really cool. Even though I don't eat donuts anymore. That's a whole story for
Right.
another day. The worst commercial was for Coinbase. It was
Really
stupid. I thought, like, so they're $10 million or something like that for 30 seconds.
right.
And so crypto, Coinbase, all that, they handed money over to some ad agency, and it was this bizarre karaoke thing that, like, you could literally make with some AI thing now, I'm sure, in a matter of minutes. And you send the invoice. What is an ad agency on Madison Avenue? Isn't there one called BBDO or something like that?
I don't know.
They send the invoice to Coinbase,
Right.
10 million for the commercial and 1.5 million for the 30-second karaoke that they did.
Right.
And it was terrible. And it followed, that's what was funny, it followed the Dunkin' commercial. And then I like State Farm. They had some good stuff. And then I think that's about it. Everything else was for afflictions that I do not have.
Yeah, the only one that I saw that I just, looking over YouTube this morning and on the news was definitely the Budweiser commercial. I don't know, something about the Clydesdales and the bald eagles.
Yeah, exactly. That's
you got to be, come on, all of us Americans. That just makes you feel good.
But like I said, everything else was the side effects part was longer than the commercial.
Right.
So, like, I don't think I need that.
Weird.
I'm gonna eat natural and exercise, and I'm good. All right, so enough Super Bowl talk. Let's jump back to showing you what we got on the show today. The big show that crashed and burned the first time around, and we're doing much better so far. All right, so another thing out of the Olympics. This is incredible. The high-speed FPV drone shots chasing athletes with synchronized telemetry. They got the Winter Olympics looking like a real-life video game. And there's a link here, and you can – oh, it's not there? Why isn't it loading? I guess they took the tweet away. That's fine. They must have taken the tweet down that they were referring to. But if you have seen these FPV drone shots, the downhill skiing and the luge or whatever, like, dude, wow. Really, really cool stuff. And I know for a fact that some of the movies that they're making lately – there was one that came out a couple years ago with, I think it was Jake Gyllenhaal was in it, where he was in an ambulance, and it was in LA. It was kind of one of those March movies that doesn't do too well. I think Michael Bay directed it, and they used a bunch of these FPV drone shots to get what looked like CGI shots of a car chase. And I think the name of the movie was called Ambulance, actually.
Right.
In the LA of Ambulance, there's an LA, and it was a set in LA, the LANCE Ambulance. It was about something with a heist or something, and insane FPV drone shots in that Michael Bay movie, and that's a few years ago now. Now they're using them in live broadcast, and it does look like a real life video game.
It does.
Throw that out there because we are going to be doing some stuff with drones coming up this severe weather season that we will talk about more once we get to March. So good to see that the drones are being used for good. We'll just leave it with that. All right. This is amazing. Neat tweets.
Yeah, this was cool to see.
Absolutely. Look at this. This is Lake Erie cracking up.
So neat. Literally cracking up. That is the fact that they were able to catch that on satellite. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
You know what? I got a good dad joke. Somebody must have told Lake Erie a joke because it's cracking up. Yeah. All right. I'll be at the Dead Crow Comedy Festival all week. Please be sure to tip your waitress. We are Dark Mondays. Yes, it cracked, and that is a big one. I'm wondering, that had to make a noise. Seriously. Like, that splitting had to have been incredible. If there were any acoustic recording devices around Lake Erie to pick that up, I mean, dude, like, wow.
That has to sound otherworldly.
Sure. and there's a bunch of them, and this will be really interesting to see what happens with all of this ice as we get into the springtime. But look at all the snow cover all around. You know, you got Ohio in there, PA, Western New York, Southern Ontario. Like, dang.
Yep.
So
A winter wonderland.
Very high ice cover percentages this year so far.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see how we're doing. You're funny, Mark. Thank you, Brandon. I try. Geek G Howard groan.
Yes.
Remember to strike that like button. Yeah, of course. Yes, please strike it.
Yes.
Hit it. Beat it up. We're doing better than we started.
Yes.
But before we get on with I know CJ does have to get out in 20 minutes.
No, I'm good this morning. That's tomorrow morning.
That's right. You got your Mondays cleared, apparently.
Yes.
To appease the new platform, encourage continued good behavior. Yes, exactly. Yes. The Zoom people had their shot at us earlier, and hopefully we've. Yeah. Hey, maybe it was literally a brief outage. Somebody up the street unplugged the main AT&T fiber thing. Who knows? But yeah, we are doing a new way that we do this. We used to do it over Zoom, and now we're using Restream.
Yep.
And other than that, completely beginning, we tried. So far, so good. And this is going to be a lot of fun because we can go back and forth. We can bring the chat up, and we can make it go away. We have different elements. Let me find my graphics over here. There they are. What should I show? Let's see, CJ. Let's do.
Sure shall.
Let's see. Well, we're not quite up to rumors yet, but I can change our background as an example. There you go.
Yeah. And so you get that nice, beautiful winter shot.
Stuff that kind of matches maybe what we're talking about, stuff like that. Some of these are neat. Got a little retro action look here when we do our Throwback Thursday.
Yep.
That's a good one. You made this graphic a while back.
Yep. Just tweaked it for the talking weather stuff. I absolutely love it.
Right. And we can change the logo in the upper left, a little bug. Looks to it. Appreciate Tim Melman creating the final rendering of that way back in the latter part of November as I hatched this idea. But again, credit where credit is due. I was invited on Carolina Weather Group last week and Restream. And man, just slick and well done. And I had the ticker. Yep. I think we have a ticker. Where's our ticker?
We do. So it should be under the same part on the right. I think it's called, I don't remember
Captions.
Which one. Yeah, that's it. Captions.
So I can run the ticker.
We can, run a ticker and, lower thirds as well. Right. And then if we want to highlight somebody's question, we can do that.
That's right.
Just click on the little doohickey and then the comment pops up. It's great. This platform has a lot more podcast friendly features that are going to help us once we learn its quirks, figure out how to, do things around here.
Put questions up. Where do you think today's high and low temperature will take place?
Exactly.
Comment in the chat. And of course, I should run that after I do the high low part. But yeah, we'll learn all this stuff. And again, it'll become, there's actually a bunch of hotkeys. We'll just start to become like synthesizer, like gurus, so to speak, playing the keyboard here, except in this case, the QWERTY keyboard to learn our hotkeys. But good stuff. And CJ helped put a lot of things together over the weekend. And here we are. All right. Well, let's get back to some content for you.
Exactly.
And, we'll go up here. We done. Yes. Allow. So weather map for today, not looking too bad out there. Now, what I am interested in is to see if the telestrator makes things crash. Hopefully it does not. In the east and the northeast, we do have the extreme cold still holding on, but we are going to flip the pattern soon. We're going to talk about that as we go forward. Do have some fog hanging around along the northern Gulf Coast states and some red flag warnings out here in parts of the southern central plains. Winter weather advisories in a few areas out west. And that is about it. All in all, a generally benign pattern, especially considering where we are in February and what could be happening. Hawaii catches my eye here. This is interesting. I accidentally clicked on the ocean, so it showed me a marine forecast. Oh, wow. So, winter storm warning up in the volcanic peaks.
Yep.
High wind warning, high surf warning. Hawaii is having a time of it. Let's look at the horrible National Weather Service radar.
Mm.
Sorry, when it looks this bad, I have to say something, but that's all right. Everything else about Weather Service products, I think, is spot on. The radar, though, this could use some work. But yeah, if you're headed out to the String of Pearls, yikes, it looks a little stormy and just yucky out there with a low pressure area. And you can see that on the satellite. Yep, State of Hawaii infrared imagery out of the Weather Forecast Office in Honolulu. Look at that, CJ. Pretty darn stormy out that way.
Yeah, it is. But I believe they've had quite a bit of drought as well lately. So this is good for them. They definitely needed a soaking rain. You know, a tank rain, as Howard would call it.
Neat stuff. So, yep, if you're headed out to Hawaii, especially today, coming in for a landing either in Honolulu or out on the Big Island, maybe Hilo or somewhere, yikes, could be a little bumpy. All right. So ENSO is El Nino Southern Oscillation. I want to talk about this because, folks, it's coming, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. All right? Great post here from Ben, kind of showing the cross-section that I like to refer to sometimes from that animation that we have of the subsurface, but this is a great way to visualize it. Deep in the ocean, says Ben Knoll, you'll find a growing El Nino. Just 3 months ago, La Nina was near its peak. Now, its cool water is being replaced by building warmth. Some of that warmth is surfacing, and soon it will probably culminate in an El Nino event. And what does that mean? All kinds of stuff. Rising global temperatures and the heat from that El Nino, the suppressed hurricane season potentially. El Nino and La Nina are not on and off switches. It takes time.
Yes.
So good stuff, as always, from our friend Ben Knoll here. He does write-ups at the Washington Post, so be sure to check that out. But here's another way to look at it. This is the
wow, look at how that has disappeared over the last few weeks.
This coral reef watch map that we show often.
Wow.
And I will highlight the area off the ENSO 1-2 area, already starting to warm up above normal. We're losing the La Nina signature out here in the Central Pacific. And I do want to make note, we'll see how this translates. Starting to get just a little warming in the deep tropics out here. Still, tropics, quite a bit warmer. We have to watch the trades. All of this is about the trade winds, and the stronger the trades are out here in the Atlantic, and that goes for the Pacific too. But if we get a weakening of the trades out here, you might warm the Atlantic up a little bit. In fact, let me just jump over
just
to the
enough
bookmarks. Look at the Hofmuller diagrams. This is interesting. A lot of easterly winds in the Pacific coming up, with way over in the West Pac a huge westerly wind burst, but we're talking like way, way, way over. I mean, 60 east. That's the date line. But look in the Atlantic. We don't see very strong trades.
No.
Not like this. I mean, yeah, we're still headed toward that El Nino. I don't have much doubt about it. But, you know, the Atlantic, you remember 2023? We had a strong El Nino and a very, very warm Atlantic.
And we still had Idalia.
And a busy hurricane season overall. So, you know, this takes us out to the end of February, roughly. But that easterly wind burst right there, that is really interesting.
Yeah, I've been seeing some rumblings on Twitter about it. Obviously, this is more your neck of the woods, Mark, than it is mine. I just know and have studied the overreaching impacts for obvious reasons.
Well, the CFS says, yep, we're headed towards a significant El Nino.
A strong El Nino at that.
By October, 1.5 Celsius above average in the 3.4 region, which is roughly this area right through here.
Right.
Something like that. So we'll be watching this because it does have big ramifications for global weather patterns.
Yes, it does.
So speaking of patterns, CJ, our pattern looks like it's finally going to change.
It does.
And that's a good thing for a lot of reasons. Let's check out some of the chat stuff here. Brandon, always on top of it, potentially an active to hyperactive system season in the Eastern Pacific, while we're quiet here in the Atlantic. Hopefully it won't be active here in the Atlantic because we're sick and tired of it. That's
Florida
true.
Says yes.
But, you know, quiet doesn't always mean no impact.
Exactly.
And we're going to hear starting next month and into April, different forecast prognostications coming out.
Yep.
And I mean, it only takes one.
It only takes one.
And it could just be a tropical depression that rains 40 inches over some community or region, and you get major flooding. And you think back to last year, we had the remnants of Barry that got tangled up with some other energy in Texas, and we lost all those children at that camp. And yet it was a quiet hurricane season. That is very, very important for us to not forget. It is about the impacts rather than the overall numbers. And we've definitely swung our pendulum in that direction more over the years, that, categories and all that are important, especially when you talk about something like a Melissa, where now the core really does matter. Most situations, it's the overall envelope of impacts.
Right.
Once in a while, it's where that core comes in. Ian, Charlie, Michael, Melissa.
Right. That's your strong category 3s, 4s. Even a category 2 can do some serious wind damage depending on where it comes in. But overall, and I think that you're seeing a lot of that messaging change as we've gone through the years. That, people are starting to, I really like those ready, set, go ideas that, Fox Weather was like the first major news outlet I saw that did something like that. We're more focused on the general overall impacts than we were before. And that's a good thing.
Rain. Believe me, that can be such
rain is an impact,
a major impact. And we need to not lose sight of that. And of course, the Gulf is not susceptible to ENSO effect on any appreciable level. There's not much correlation there.
No.
I will be at the National Tropical Weather Conference in South Padre Island in April. We will hear from Dr. Klotzbach. And hopefully I can corner him in a room somewhere and just talk about some of the impacts of ENSO and how seasonal forecasting is changing over the years. Now they've been doing it close to 40 years, maybe something like that. But anyway, hurricane season, once we get to March, we will be within 90 days and we will talk about it a little bit more each week. But right now, nothing to worry about, just the ENSO stuff that I thought I would share with you. So let's get back. Speaking of sharing, show the program stuff up here. There we are. And we will jump over to the pattern change part of today's show.
Yes.
Right now, this really tells the tale. Let's grab the telestrator. We'll use, I guess, this green to really pop. Very warm relative to averages, your 2-meter temperatures west of the Mississippi. We can clearly see that. Big time positive anomalies. Negative here east of the Mississippi all the way down into the Caribbean and the Atlantic. Like, yikes. Good news for temperatures and sensible weather, precip, whatever. This is going to change as we move this through time. Most of the lower 48, within just 2 days, we will be above average for your regular 2-meter temperatures. All right. And then you can see some seesawing, but generally speaking, a warm up overall with a eventual trough pattern out west with cooler temperatures there. And that brings us, this is really good news, CJ, to more precip out west when you really need it. So over the next few days, a few storms coming in to the west coast. We'll take this out to a week, and then we're going to leave it at that until we get to the rumors part. But you like to see it because they've been so dry. Finally, some more Sierra snow, Utah into the Rockies, Wasatch getting some snow in Utah. And then possibly this coming weekend, a storm system of note, which we will talk about in just a moment here, sliding across the deep south. But the good news is the pattern's going to change, and we're going to get some, excellent, went beyond. There we go. We're going to get some precip out west where we need it. Now, let me jump to the SPC real quick. Possibility, as we get out in time, of something in the longer range. It doesn't show up graphically yet.
Nope.
38, but it is mentioned in here. And CJ, if you want to take that part.
Yeah, absolutely. So this forecast, and this is one of the reasons why personally I've paid attention to this, it comes from Liz Lightman over there at the National or the Storm Prediction Center. And Liz is a great forecaster. I love her input. But it talks about that we have an increasing potential for thunderstorms developing across portions of Texas, lower Mississippi Valley, and the Southeast generally this coming weekend. Now we're about 5 to 7 days out. So obviously there's not a lot of, it's the word that I'm looking for, confidence in the forecast, because as it says there, medium range forecast guidance varies. So obviously the propagation of it, the progression is a little different. And as well as how far north into the continent that moist air mass can make it.
Yep.
But what we do know in the TLDR version is this: there's going to be a storm system moving across the country this weekend. Just be weather aware, especially in the southeast from Texas over to the coast. We could have some severe weather impacts for your Valentine's Day plans.
Yeah, we can see that just on the surface map.
Absolutely.
GFS here, heavy precip down south. The Gulf's still very warm in the central part of where the shelf water, quite chilly. In fact, I can show you that real quick here. Go back to this guy. Let's zoom in. That cold snap has done a real number on the shelf waters of the southeast.
Yeah,
out here, the loop current. Wow.
Exactly. No, I was to say our shelf temperatures are only about 55 degrees.
Yeah, even
our coast.
Very, it's off the scale.
Very cold.
Yep.
And but I do think that that's going to start moderating, especially down in the eastern Gulf. Our temperatures during the day are going to be in the 70s, 60s at the beaches. That sunlight's going to start warming that up. I mean, it's February. We're going to start to see that warming effect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big high is going to build out over the Atlantic. You get that return flow and so forth and so on.
Right.
Bill Reed, former director of the National Hurricane Center in 2010, a good chunk of the Gulf was well below normal.
Right.
And we were at the hurricane conference and he said something about that. And he said, don't worry. This was like in March or April or anyway, but he said, the big microwave in the sky will do its work and we will be right where we need to be come hurricane season.
Always. The Gulf is always going to be warm enough for hurricanes. Just remember that. But what I'm more interested in is its effects on severe weather in the southeast. That loop current still has the ability to push a lot of that moisture northward. Even though the shelf waters are cooler, that loop current is out there in a prime area where those southerly winds out ahead of any trough are going to pick that air up and push it north.
So 500 millibars as we get towards the weekend, a pretty active pattern. That is the energy in the atmosphere.
And I want you to note, Mark, look at how that trough axis tilts as it pushes. So it goes from a positively tilted trough, but over Louisiana, that's a negative tilt to that trough. So all that means is it leaning right or leaning left? So positive tilt is to the left, a negative tilt is to the right. For severe weather, you want a negative tilt. So something like that does, it has the view, it has the look.
Yeah, it's got people's attention. So we'll be paying attention to that on our show all week. And eventually it'll start showing up on the SPC guidance graphically, I'm sure. And then even some frozen precip on the north side. But again, the pattern's going to flip enough that we're finally going to get out of this really brutal cold that we've seen.
Exactly.
At least for a bit. All right. Saw this post here from Paul Roundy. This is good news, especially for out west. Some of the ensemble members produce over 100 inches of snow in the Sierra. Wow. This is just one of the AIFS. This one he's showing is the Euro's Artificial Intelligence Forecast System, or AIFS operational. And yeah, that sort of banana color there. Over 100 inches of snow in the Sierra. But even the Rockies finally getting in, the Great Basin as well. Yes. This goes through February 23rd. We have all of March. And March, by the way, is typically Colorado's snowiest month, if my memory serves.
Okay.
And it's because of the way the transition towards spring is. And you get these lows that come from the south and more Gulf moisture, and the Arctic air still abound. So there's time. There's still time to make up the deficit out there. We're going to really need it. And even down into the mountains of Arizona, that's great to see. And then look, even Mexico showing up with a little bit of snow way down at the same latitude as just about Tampa. But high elevation out there. They got mountains in Mexico, not so much in Tampa.
No.
So this is good to see that pattern change coming up. All right. So I want to show the cool little graphic thing that you did. And with that, we will go to this.
All right. It is time. Rumors of storms.
Yes. Some animations that CJ put together. And we can even switch the background to this as we get into the rumors of storms part. But before I do that, I do want to get back to the banter in chat to see what you guys are saying. Yes, he is actually from Bermuda, Brandon. Please, can we have some rain? So I guess, yeah, Florida. We don't want to neglect the fact that Florida is still very dry.
Agreed.
And it looks like a little bit of rain is going to come through over the weekend.
Right.
But let's get into it. Let's talk about the future here and any rumors of big time storms. And for that, we'll get back up to sharing the old screen. Yes, thank you very much. And there is.
Remember, you have to put us down at the bottom, Mark, when you do this one.
All right. So let me go back to the infinity thing. And
so down at the bottom, you want the one that has the two boxes at the bottom right. Second from your right-hand side.
That guy.
Yep. There we go.
Take you guys out of infinity mode for a second. Anybody get stuck back in 1853, just send us a letter.
Right.
Come on, that's funny too.
Like that.
It'll just show up in some museum somewhere instantly, dated from February 9th, 1853. Weather Scott, you'll like that joke. All right, so a little bit of rumors out there coming up. Not quite in the long range, but severe weather starts to get people's ears perked up. So this is Mike Gagliardi.
That's how I would say it. Yeah. Gagliardi.
Models continue to signal. In fact, you reposted this.
I did.
Retweeted it, so it showed up in my algorithm. That's the whole point of it. I heard it through the algorithm. Models continue to signal a severe weather threat being possible for Dixie Alley in Florida this coming weekend. The chance for rain and storms in general is becoming increasingly likely, but whether or not stronger storms materialize hinges on timing. Sunday, Monday for us. Us meaning Florida, right?
Yeah. So Mike is another chaser here in the Tampa Bay area. I think he's based up in Pinellas, if I'm not mistaken. So St. Pete, Clearwater area. But yeah, I mean, the Euro mark has been actually a lot more bullish on this. Bullish.
Remember we talked about this last week because it was showing up and it disappeared.
Then it came back.
Right.
So the Euro has been pretty bullish on this system in terms of the strength of the squall line as it comes through the southeast. And there's a pretty noticeable warm sector. All of this is going to hinge on where that low forms, how strong it gets, and the timing as it pushes across, the southeast. So that's one of the things, we're going to be watching all week. A lot of us down here in Florida, we could use some action, right? Obviously we don't want anybody to get hurt or anybody to experience severe weather. But for those of us who chase, it's a thing. We want to be able to witness weather and see it. And it's been kind of quiet for us down here other than bitterly cold and the occasional snow flurry. So, but what's going to be really interesting is in this run, that actually brings a pretty decent slog of severe storms through the Florida Peninsula.
Nice word.
I believe that's, and I believe that's Sunday afternoon into Monday.
Right.
The UTC. So Sunday afternoon and evening. So that would be great for me. I wouldn't have to drive as far. But the GFS, it's kind of more up into Georgia.
Right. So we can compare the two roughly. Go back to see on the GFS for the weekend. Yeah, GFS is more Georgia, not quite as amped up at all. And, that's a lot less amped up once it gets out east of the Appalachians. So an interesting split there. Between the GFS and the Euro. Euro is a lot more amped with 997. And then you got rain up there where it's been so icy and cold. That's going to be interesting.
So it's definitely going to be interesting to see which of these models caves to the other, what's going to become more likely. But this all brings us back to what Liz Lightman was saying in her forecast. The two models, we're not entirely sure yet. We know there is a chance. So you just got to be prepped for it. Now, the biggest thing is going to be those dew points. And on the Euro, look at that. I mean, you're talking almost 70-degree dew points in northern Louisiana. That's pretty impressive for February.
So why does that
matter? Be something
the higher dew points, gives you the more buoyant the air. And buoyant air does what? Anyone?
It rises.
Exactly. So the higher the dew points, the more buoyant the air can be. dew point laden air is just naturally ready to go. You got to have something
Yeah,
to tap into it, the forcing, some kind of a mechanism. And
exactly.
dew points in the upper 50s all the way up to the Carolinas, according to the Euro.
And even
Upper
as far
50s,
north
low
as southern,
60s.
like the
Yeah,
Cincinnati area.
yeah. Look
So,
at
I
that.
mean, it's, it's a pretty decent, system. And, I have to agree there with uh, Kathy up in Fernandina. We need the rain in Florida. So that's why I'm hoping also for the Euro. I don't want my plants to completely die off.
Right,
So,
right. Speaking of dew points, let's look at the opposite end. I thought I would just jump
yeah.
on this real quick. So we hit minus 35 in Watertown for the Sunday low temperature. We'll figure out what
Mhm.
today's is on tomorrow's show, of course. But look at these dew points up here, negative 15. So you walk across the carpet, if you have carpet, and you go touch something metallic. And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Get the high-speed camera out. You can
Mm.
record some interesting horizontal lightning on your fingertips between you and the doorknob.
Mhm.
That is very, very dry air.
Yep.
Wow.
I can't say I missed that.
But that's also going to change with this pattern flow
Mhm.
that's coming. Dry air, dry air, dry air. Then, oh, look, so dew points in the 30s. Like,
Yeah.
wow. You know, you might actually get some real frost up there instead of just instant flash freezing.
Right.
So yes, looks like we do have a pattern change headed our way, and with that, the possibility of severe weather. And we will have to keep
Mhm.
an eye on that in the coming days, and we will do
Exactly.
kill
Oh,
green. What was that? What beeped?
you you died on us for a second there. But you killed
Again?
the screen share, so you're back.
All right, let's get rid of the telestrator, and we will go back to the banter in chat. All right,
Awesome.
so let's see what we got here from a few of our. So you were saying something about we can click on somebody's. We can play around just for a few minutes here. We can click on somebody's comment or highlight it. Let's
So if you make the chat go away, so just go back to banter,
banter. There we go.
okay? And then if you bring up the chat on your side, that's whatever Wednesday.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was trying to do background. There we go.
Yeah, you still gotta click on the whatever Wednesday to make it go away.
Oh yeah. Jeez.
See, guys, we're learning. So the background went away, so you're gonna want to put up the background again.
There we go.
All right, there you go. So now where you see the captions, I
Oh yeah.
believe, or the chat, you just click on one of the messages in your chat box up there on the right side, and it
Right.
should just come up. So go ahead, whatever one you want to highlight.
All right. So let's
It
do
should
this one
show
right
up
here because
below
this will
us.
bring me.
There you go.
All right. So Cracker in Florida said didn't get notification, was scrolling and found this.
Awesome. Good. Hey, that means the algorithm's working, guys.
There you go. That
But you
worked.
got to make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you do get the notifications.
Yeah. And remember, as far as scheduling goes, most times we're going to do this at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Occasionally I won't be around, like this coming Friday. I got stuff I have to do. So no show Friday. We'll talk about that again later. But schedule it. Do a reminder in your phone. I know that we have Jeremy out in Arizona in Sierra Vista. It is 3 hours, or are they 2 hours this time of year? Can't remember. Jeremy can tell you. He's tuning in before the sun comes up out there at Sierra Vista. But yes, 10 a.m. Eastern time is when we do this. I like this. So we can highlight Kathy's. She says, I'll take it. So this is pretty good. It's worked out.
I really like that question mark from Justin Hirsch Cruising. So we can go to that one next.
All right, now I got to find it. There's a bunch. Which one is
it?
At
the very top.
Very top.
110728. Talking about El Nino.
You say the very top
of the chat box, like it was the last one that was commented, the most recent comment.
How do I find that?
So you bring up the chat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There it is.
Bottom.
So I really like this one, talking about, with the coming of El Nino, do we expect a more active storm season for Florida and specifically Central and South Florida? So it depends on what you define as storm season, but I think I know what this question's alluding to, Mark. And that's going to be our winter time storms. So, that's typically in an El Nino. Yeah. Right. Typically in an El Nino year, we'll have more severe weather here in Florida, especially in the peninsula. Not so much because the northern part, the panhandle, y'all are just lower Alabama. So
Right.
your climate up there is more dictated by, you know, what Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi are going to see. But for us here in the peninsula, absolutely, that's something we're going to have to worry about next year, especially with the strength of the El Nino being forecasted to be 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius. I mean, that's pretty big. So can't complain there. But yes, so we can expect more like, you know, what we're, you know, looking for
Right.
next year. But that's going to be a next winter problem. As far as hurricanes, though, Mark, you can go ahead and
Jeremy
Arizona isn't
texted
bad.
me.
Good. So,
There, in
Mark,
fact,
you want to hit on how that'll affect hurricanes for Florida?
yeah. So typically, when we have an El Nino, especially a strong one, you get a lot of rising motion in the equatorial Pacific,
Right.
and that rising motion has to sink somewhere, and so you get sinking dry air. You also get the wind shear because that air is spreading
Right.
out. Rising motion goes up and spreads out, and it typically affects the Caribbean and the western portions of the main development region. And that decapitates storms from coming when they're coming across, and it just reduces the amount of potential hurricanes.
Right.
However, that doesn't mean there's no chance, because 1992 was arguably an El Nino year, and we had a very down hurricane season, and one of those happened to be Andrew.
Yeah.
It was sheared and decapitated and looked like nothing. Everybody went to bed on whatever night that was and thought,
Mm-hmm.
if this survives, we might have to keep an eye on it. And that's exactly what happened. Big high pressure built to its north, all the winds and everything lined up, and we had a Cat 5 hurricane come into Miami-Dade County.
Yep.
1983 was a significant El Nino. We had 4 named
Mhm.
storms that year. One of those was Cat 3 Alicia that made landfall in Houston. And if you had something like that today, just forget it. That would just
Right.
be like the Golden Triangle, that whole region. So ENSO, a warm ENSO can slow down the amount of hurricane activity in the Atlantic, but it doesn't necessarily mean there won't be any hurricane landfalls. And we just have to remember that. And we're going to hear a
Yep.
lot of headlines. It's coming. Like, write it down. You know this. Lower
Mhm.
hurricane season numbers expected. You know, maybe a big break from whatever, and you know that's not necessarily true. And on the other side, with that warm ENSO, you could also get a very active East Pack, as Brandon was talking about, Brandon Dunn. And you could have a bunch of stuff trying to get up into Southern California, maybe the threat of flooding
Mhm.
for Arizona, more threats potentially to Mexico than we have seen in a
Right.
couple of years now since Otis. But really, once we get into March, we'll focus on that more.
Exactly.
We'll be within that 90-day window. But a big part of our focus going into hurricane season the last couple of years has been much, much less about numbers. And we still report on it and talk about it. Of course, not going to ignore it, but take each individual one as they come, because you've got all the impacts from
Exactly.
waves, rip currents, the rain, the threat of tornadoes. There's just a whole bundle of things. And it's not just about the category, the wind speed,
Yep.
and even storm surge. There's so much more to
Exactly.
hurricanes. Hey, I've studied them for 30 years. So, hey, somebody scan the QR code.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So for up in our corner, if you guys, hold on, which way is it? That way. That way. So up in the corner, you guys will see a link, a QR code link. You can go ahead and scan that. That'll take you over to the Hurricane Track Patreon. That's how you can really help support everything that the team does. Remember, it's not just, obviously Mark, this is his work,
Right.
his line of work. But there are a ton of us on the back end that want to make this the best that it can be. And as we get into, we're doing more, Mark. This isn't just Hurricane Track anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the brand, but we've
about 12 years
branched.
expanded beyond. It was
Mhm.
Delaware Steve in 2014.
Yep.
Steve Sarinko is like, you really should start covering those nor'easters. I was like, well, it takes
Oh.
money. And we had some people that helped out with that. And here we are all these years later. Now we
Mhm.
cover pretty much anything that we can within reason. It's hard for us to
Right.
be out there for 300 days a year. But a lot of what we do too during these other storm events is we test equipment that we're going to use
Mhm.
during hurricane season. So it all leads back to getting ready for the next Ian or the next Michael or
Yep.
Helene, or whatever the case may be. And the good thing with Patreon too, I really like in the last few years that they have allowed creators, that's
Yep.
us, to allow you fine folks to just sign up and become a follower,
Yeah.
and then become a funding, sustaining member when you can. You know?
Exactly.
CJ baked in the QR code up there, and it'll take you right to our Patreon. So thanks, CJ. That was good
Absolutely.
thinking, buddy, over the last couple of days.
I saw the option was there. I was like, might as well. I mean, it's something that, obviously want to do. And for anybody that's watching on my channel, again, I'm still working with Hurricane Track. I just do my own little videos on the side.
And he does some really good stuff too, man. I tell you, like, I like his style, and they've gotten some good views, which is good. Weather content.
Yeah, I got lucky. I think
Brandon,
with the algorithm.
True. You're right. Hillary 2023 in
Yep.
California is out there for that. And Alicia, let's talk about Alicia real quick. Catherine Burkett. So Alicia was replaced with Allison. And I believe does the Allison only have one L? I can't remember. Not trying to.
No, I think Allison the Storm had the 2.
Really?
Yes.
Something. Anyway, focus, Mark, just on the comment, not the grammar. I thought it was Allison with one L. We should look that up, because I got a weird memory about this kind of stuff, and sometimes it can be wrong. That's called the Mandela effect, by the way. CJ is going to solve it.
It was Tropical Storm Allison with 2 L's.
All right. So I misremembered. All right. Give up on my dad jokes.
I love it.
Well, then I can't be if I stop being a dad, then I'll give up the dad jokes. Alicia was replaced with Allison on that list. Allison was replaced with Andrea.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Thank you, Encyclopedia Catherine.
Absolutely. So what else? What are the other names for this year? Somebody posted them earlier, I thought.
So it looks like it's the 2020 list minus Laura.
6 years later. Oh
yeah.
God. Right.
Isn't it crazy? So we have Arthur, Bertha. Right. Arthur, Bertha. Nobody knows how to pronounce it. It's either Cristobal or Cristobal or.
No, it's Cristobal.
Yeah. In Spanish.
Right.
But, Dolly, Edward, Faye, Gonzalo, Hannah, Isaias, Josephine, Kyle, Leah, Marco, Nana, Omar. Yeah, I think so. I think in Spanish it's Cristobal.
If you want to know that it is Cristobal, you need to watch Barry on HBO with Bill Hader.
Right.
And they have a character in that show called Cristobal.
Yeah.
And Hunk, you guys remember Hunk from Barry?
Right.
He says that name over. Cristobal is going to be very whatever, and it is Cristobal. So there you go.
So, but yeah, this is the 2020 name list, and I think that was also 2017. No, 2005. I think is this list as well.
Interesting.
But I could be wrong.
No, 2005 started off with Arlene.
Okay, gotcha.
I do remember that.
That's the Arlene Brett. Yeah, because that was that in 2017. We'll be getting back to that, I think. Oh, this would have been the 2004 list. I lied.
Gotcha.
I think, because I think Cristobal was the replacement for Charlie.
Interesting.
If I'm not mistaken.
Cristobal.
Yeah, whatever.
Chris. There's no Cristobal.
Yeah. I like Isaias or Isaias is how I would say it.
It's Isaias.
Yeah.
And I was in that one too. We had some stuff done. And in fact, that's a Hurricane Highway episode that is done. Yep. We'll have to go over some of those maybe on Throwback Thursday.
Maybe.
Well, let's roll this puppy up. We did it. We got through everything.
Yeah, we got through it.
Take two seems to have worked.
Yeah.
And appreciate everybody hanging through it. Tuesday, we have Tech Tuesday. So tomorrow we'll come up with something cool and techie to talk about.
Awesome.
We even have cool background graphics that CJ has compiled and readied. Wednesday is just our whatever Wednesday. And then Thursday, we will check in with Jen Naramore. She is leaving Florida.
Yeah.
Heading somewhere else. We'll check in with her and we'll talk about something that she arranged to have sent to CJ and myself. We'll show you that. It's right here off screen. You have to tune in Thursday. CJ's got one too. And we'll talk about that on Thursday. You did get yours, right?
I haven't checked my mail, so it might be in my mailbox.
Good. Yes, it is. And you know what I'm talking about. We'll show you what it is on Thursday, everybody. So really appreciate everybody tuning in to Talking Weather. The nice thing about this is all I got to do when we're done is hit end stream and we're gone. So there's that. So Colin replaced Charlie, just in case you were wondering. I'll flash that back up. There you go. Oh, sorry. There, Colin replaced Charlie again. All right.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Catherine. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Talking
Thanks,
Weather.
everybody.
That's CJ. We'll do it again tomorrow. Don't forget, it's 10 a.m.
Absolutely.